Okay, well, uh, hello everybody. I'm sorry, I'm getting error messages, so if you're watching the stream right now and wondering why I'm not talking, I'm just trying to sort why that's happening. It's telling me that my connection is not good enough to broadcast, but I'm wired in, so I'm not too sure what that's about. If there are any problems with the connection, whether that's me speaking or the image on your screen, just let me know in the YouTube chat there. But we are in Bahrain today. It's qualifying, 13 minutes left in qualifying, so quite a few laps have been done already. Not too many on the board. We've got 5 drivers who've set a time with Lorenzo 1086 top of that order with a 126.443. He is half a second ahead of Sprunky in P2. Those two having a bit of a battle there for the championship as it stands. They are top of the order, and they've been trading wins and good results there. Lorenzo, not much luck last time out in Baku, as he got pole position but was not able to start the race after a lobby restart there, was not able to get back into the lobby in the mandated time, and unfortunately race had to go on without him, but he is looking to make amends for that today. Now, doesn't look like Divisions 4 is live yet, so thank you guys for watching us. And as soon as Division 4 is live, go give that stream a little bit of love there, and make sure to give them a like and some support. Wish everybody good luck, good racing. Division 3, though, is what you're looking at right now, and it's on the screen. Doomsray in the Alpine trying to set his first flying lap, navigating some traffic there as there was an Aston Martin pulling over to the side of the road. And as he's approaching the end of Sector 3, it's quite easy to lose the rear through here. You're flat on the power, but you're turning at the same time, and that's exactly what I was talking about. And into the wall he goes. Doomsray's out of this session. That's the second car to retire from this session. And just as I was talking about how easy it was to lose the rear there on those corners, Doomsray goes and gives us a crash course, literally, on exactly how that can happen. It's an unfortunate end to the session there for the Alpine, but not the end of the world. It is not the hardest of tracks to overtake on in Bahrain. 3 DRS zones, a lot of good opportunities, particularly in Sector 1 there with the back-to-back DRS zones and hard braking zones at the end of both. So if you're going to make a run up through the pack, I got to say that Bahrain is not a bad place to do it. It's a regular visit here. I don't think we've ever skipped out Bahrain in our 5 seasons, and we're back again, and usually we get some pretty good racing here, so I'm excited to see what these drivers have in store for us today. On board now with Bumblebee, who was putting a good championship challenge last season in Division 3, but Division 3 this season has gotten a little bit quicker, so we're not seeing exactly the same kind of last to podium drives from him, but certainly not a bad season by any means. And he puts his car into P9, so a little bit off the pace, I would think, there, 2 seconds. It's not exactly typical Bumblebee. And unfortunately for him, that means he's going to have to go again fairly soon there. He's now on an out lap. He is yet to set a lap, crossing the line now to start his first. Soft tires, it seems, for everybody, but the soft tires don't run super long. Actually, Sprunky is on an out lap on the mediums right now, but everybody has set their current fastest lap on the soft tires. And Sprunky is, let's see, there where's Sprunky? I believe he's at the end of sector. At the end of the 3rd DRS straight right now, so we'll be starting his medium lap soon. Will be very interesting to see what the pace of those tires is around this circuit, and especially in qualifying, because the soft tires only last about 7 or 8 laps there, and I don't mean like they're going to pop at the end of 8, but they're not going to be competitive. They're not going to be the tire that you want to be at the end of 7 or 8 laps, and that's when we're going to see the first pit stops in the race. So Sprunky, by going on the mediums, could extend that to about lap 14 or so. Then he could do a 1-stop onto the hards, or just reverse the strategy and do a 2-stop medium soft, or a soft stint in the middle. Of course, that will depend with the safety cars, but not a bad choice there, but that, of course, implies that he's going to beat his time. He's going to actually do better than his time, and that's not going to be the case because I'm sure you've noticed yellow flags in Sector 1 for an Aston Martin, and that was Sprunky. Who had a spin. He's gotten going again. Aizen, as I was trying to flick back to him, goes to P6 with a 127.3. Good lap from Aizen there as he gets himself into the top 10. Third row of the grid as it stands. Sorry, third row of the grid as it stands. But still a lot of qualifying to go, so that could change. He's going to want to go back out there and try again. Freefall currently last, but not really, because there's still 7 drivers who have not settled. I make that 6 as Rumpelfugly crosses the line, P12. And he's going to want to improve that. I don't know if he's going to get a slipstream from the Williams there, but he's in a lot of traffic. And that Williams is not on a lap. So, yeah, Vexavexer is going to want to get out of the way here, because that dirty air is probably impacting Freefall's pace. He does move out of the way, but was it a little late? I'm not sure. I think he might have been trying to give his teammate there, who is on a lap, Ephraim's on an out lap as well. So Vex there, questionably letting a lot of cars by. That's going to cool down his tires, and it's going to hinder his performance there on his actual lap, because he's starting it right now. Freefall to the line goes P7. That's right behind Aizen's time, ahead of Always Rick. So both McLarens in a decent qualifying position now, and I'm sure Freefall's going to be quite pleased with that one. Let's go on board with Vexavexer there. We saw him get out of the way. We saw him slow down to avoid the other cars, but will that affect his lap as we're on board with him? Little tentative there into turn 1. And not on the power right away into turn 2, so definitely losing some time. He's lacking a little bit of grip out there, I think. And if he's not able to keep that car planted through the rest of the lap there, yeah, that might be bad news. And just like that, he bails on that lap quite quickly. So Vexavexer is going to have to go again. At the top there, Lorenzo, as we just go under the 7-minute mark in qualifying. Lorenzo starting another lap. He's currently pole position, or provisional pole, by half a second, but he could improve. Now keep in mind, Sprunky is going on the medium tires, at least he tried. And I think he's trying again. Only Boris right now on the mediums. Everybody else, their best lap is set on the softs, but Craigo and Sprunky on fitted the medium tires on their car right now, so will they be able to beat their soft time is actually kind of a concern, because if you don't, well, you just wasted a set of mediums that around this track you absolutely want. It is most likely a 2-stop around this circuit, and if you don't have that second set of mediums to fresh, or if you ruin it too much during qualifying, guess what? You're not gonna have a good time in the race. You might have to even use the hards for one of your stints, and the hard tire is just not as competitive around this track. It's not a bad tire to take if you need to, compensate for a safety car or another. But Lorenzo, he's on a good lap there, but he's going to dive into the pits. Doesn't want to waste that in-lap on these softs. Wants to keep them for the race more than likely. Bacher, not on a competitive lap right now. I think he's on his in-lap. Ephraim is on a lap, and he's a 10th down on his time, so we're going to ride on board with the Williams here as he's coming towards the end of Sector 2 there, just up the hill. One more right-hander, and you're at the timing line, and that's another 10th gain through Sector 2. So that would put him, quick maths here, could put him as high up as second on the grid right now. You can see a little bit of a cluster of cars there at 126.8, 126.9, 127. Oh, big moment coming out of the last corner. Is that going to cost him? It will. Yep, he definitely saw that delta time go into the red and does not want to waste this set of tires as well. He's going to get another go now. He might not have that chance if he goes around the track one more time. Sprunky's back on the softs. He's abandoned his quest to set a lap time on the mediums, as has Craigo. So all these guys making the mistake of going onto the mediums after setting a fairly competitive lap time on the soft tires. certainly has cost them, hasn't it? 4 minutes left in qualifying. It's not a busy track right now. Everybody in the pits getting ready for their final flying lap, if there is one. 2 cars out of this session due to incidents. That'd be CJ Butch and Doom's race starting from the rear, and Vex the Vexter is going to be the last man to set a lap time. If he does set a lap time, I believe he's coming out of the pits right now. And there he is, yes. Should be able to at least get another one in, but he's got to not invalidate it, and he's got to keep it super, super quick, because it's a one-shot quali at this point for him. And if you mess it up, well, guess what? That's it. You're going to start 17th. He can't start worse than 17th because he hasn't crashed out. But like I said, you got one shot. If you mess it up and that ends up with you in the wall, yeah, you might dip below Doomsray and CJ Butch. Although, no, I think it goes in the order you DNF, so you should be okay there. Vex the Vexer starting at least 17th today. Sprunky starting his lap as he navigates turns 2 and 3. Down the run to turn 4, you can see the DRS zone that they added just a few years ago. Paid wonders in some of the races here. Gives you that extra boost there. Sometimes you weren't able to get just quite close enough through this first straightaway, and then you get a nice switchback through turns 1, 2, and 3, and that extra DRS zone just letting you finish it off there on the run to turn 4. If you lose the position, it lets you fight back as well. It's a great little track, that one. Alrighty. That's a spin from Sprunky. Sorry about that. I was just making a post about how we were live on YouTube there on our social media to try to get some more viewers there. If you guys want to do us a solid and give us a share and maybe a like or something, get people to the stream, get them watching this awesome race. 19 drivers in the lobby, and I'll love to see that. And it should be an exciting one there, as not only is... oh, well, I've just messed that one up now, haven't I? Apologies for that, guys. I may have accidentally erased part of the URL when I posted that. So, there you go. We're good. Minute 26 left in quali. Last cars on the track. Couple of guys starting their laps. You can see the amount of outlaps here. Quite a bit. Sprunky going for another one. He had a spin on his first try, but he's got enough time to go for another one. KTM Sweden's a 10th down on his time through Sector 1, and he's halfway through Sector 2. He's got to keep it nice and steady through here if he wants to improve. Crossing the line first, though, let's try to spot who that's going to be. It's going to be it's Boris here. Freefall is just starting his lap. Bucker's on an out lap. And I believe Crago's on a hot lap. He's going to be one of the first cars to cross the line. We're going to ride on board with him then as he goes 2/10 up on his time. That should put him in the 126s as long as he doesn't mess up on the last corner. We saw Ephraim do it there, and it's very easy to mess it up there on the last corner because it's you're putting the power down here and you're still turning the wheel as you do that because your corner's not quite done. There's a little kink on the exit. And so as he gets a little slipstream towards the line there, I think that was Galloa has helped him improve his time with a 1:26.899, and absolutely what he likes to see. Ephraim improves a bit, but not enough. Synchro's starting his lap right now. Behind him is the Aston Martin of Sprunky to the line. Sprunky goes P2 with a 1:26.7, and I wonder what that could have been without the spin on his first lap, because that certainly took some life out of the tires. And regardless of that, I think Sprunky's going to be quite happy with that one. I think he just made the line too. He could have done a charge lap even. Marko Selinovic does improve marginally. He goes P8. Good lap from him. I believe Bakker, no, that's Freefall coming to the line, but Bakker is coming to the line as well. Freefall goes P2. What a lap from Freefall. 126, 747 out of nowhere. And he gets his Mercedes on the, McLaren on the front row of the grid. Bakker was on a good lap. He invalidates as he's coming to the line. Craigo's behind him. I think, no, that's not Craigo. That's Lorenzo behind him coming to the line. And is Lorenzo going to put a stamp on this qualifying session and show just that he's the boss? He does. 6/10 ahead. I think Lorenzo at this point is just going to earn himself a promotion if he keeps racing like this. Sprunky, P3 currently. Is he going for another one? Sprunky, no. Those tires are going to be shot at the end of this race. KTM Sweden coming to the line. He's not set a lap time to improve. I think he's not on a lap. Craigo coming around the final bend, and he's going to abandon that lap. And I think that means that's the end of our qualifying session. And just like that, Lorenzo with a dominant performance here in Bahrain. P1, Freefall P2, Sprunky P3. That's your top three in qualifying. We're going to run you down the rest of the order here as soon as we load into the what do you call it? The post-race screen there that gives us all the gaps. And we'll take a look there just at how far or close everybody is. Right on. So, as I said, Lorenzo P1, Freefall P2, Sprunky P3. You can see the gap there between P1 and P2, very large. But then it tightens up. Look at all these cars, 7/10 back from the leader. All these guys in the 126s, 8 for them. There's also Galois there in the 126.9s, but the low 126.9s, synchros as well. 5 cars here, separated by 1/10 of a second. Then you have Ephraim P10, Bumblebee P11, Marko Selinovic P12. As we go down to the bottom of the order there, you can see the gap start to increase, and 2 cars, no time set. They're going to be starting from the back of the grid. So we load into the next session. Let's take a look at our comments here. A lot of cheering on. Boris saying hello from the grid. Bakker cheering on his team. Gustav, KTM Sweden, heart. He's got some fans in the crowd. Nicholas Ekelund as well coming on to cheer on his fellow Swede. Cohen cheering on Sprunky and Marko Selinovic saying cheers to everybody. Thank you guys for watching the race. Don't forget, while we're here waiting for this to start, give us a like, give us a subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to check out the links in the description for the rest of our social media pages, as well as our partners. Big thank you to IMB Raceware and Advanced Sim Racing for allowing us to provide this league for you guys. It's been absolutely awesome. So 18 seconds left until the formation lap. About 2.5 minutes left until the start of this Grand Prix. And I think this is a good time now to take you a little bit through the championship fight, as well as make some predictions on the race as I flip open there the sorry, how you say? The standings. There you go. I don't know how I was blanking on that. Yeah, opening up the standings there. You've got Lorenzo P1 at 156. Franky's just 4 points back. I don't think that gap is going to go anywhere, though. I think it might get bigger if Lorenzo can just match his qualifying performance in the race. Richie P3 is 19 points back from our leader, and Kevin Lucis is 41 points back from leader. He's got 115 points, doing a great job at putting in some good results since his promotion from Div 4. Bakker, 113 points. There you go. It's getting nice and tight there at P5. Bumblebee, 111 points. So 3 cars there for 4th. Battle for 4th, separated by just 4 points. KTM Sweden's in 7th with 101. He's 55 points back from the leader. And he's the last man with over 100 points. After that, P8, Ephraim, Craigo, and Synchros to round out the top 10. They're all between 93 and 82 points. So hovering there between 60 and 70 points behind our leader towards the end of the top 10. And you can see a lot of these guys guys starting close to each other. Because, yeah, Krigo, Ephraim, Synchros, they're P8, P10 to P10 in the championship. They occupy P7, P9 and P10 in the race. So you can see that, yeah, qualifying is kind of representative there of the championship order, at least for these guys. Freefall, P11, though he's got less races than the rest of them. Missed a couple due to the flu. He's tied with CJ Butch for P11. They both have 55 points. He's in P13 with 52. Definitely not the season the veteran driver wanted. Galois Always Rick tied at 47 points for P14. And kind of blind Cozy and Ivo Silva there in the 20s. Right below, Doomstray's got 6 points. Dr. Chavapo's got 0. And Dr. Chavapo is not on the grid today. So we'll see how that turns out. Now, they're lining up on the grid. We're going to do some predictions. And I think my predictions, the man that I'm on right now, Lorenzo, I think he's going to win this race. I think Freefall and Bacher are going to get a podium today. So I'm going to put a Red Bull McLaren podium. No hate on Sprunky. I think there's going to be some pit stop, something or another happening. And I think I can see him finishing in the top 5. But off the podium, though, there's a big race happening. It's a long race. And it's about to start 29 laps around the Bahrain International Circuit starting now. Or at least as soon as the lights go out. It's probably going to be dry. It's not going to be sunny. We're racing at night here. We've got 4 and 5 red lights, and they're off in Bahrain, and it looks like a lot of wheel spin for some of these cars on the start. Lorenzo's got awesome start. Oh no! Freefall's already off. He's crashed. What's happened there? I think Synchros is out. Oh my lord, what has happened there? We've got a VSC. I think Freefall getting turned around by Sprunky right on the start, and then Synchros, as everything unfolded behind them, has gotten collected in it. We've got 2 cars out before turn 1. What has just happened there for Freefall? It looked like he was moving to the right. I don't know if he got hooked or if somebody hit him from the side of his car, but he just went right in the wall, and just like that, his race is over before it really started. Oh my lord. And all I could see in the background there was chaos, as I think some cars propelled across the track, and that ended up with Synchros hitting the pit wall. I think Bumblebee there got involved. He's got no front wing. Always Rick seems to have gotten away damage free. Richie, I think, he's not got damage. It looked like that end plate was gone. Ephraim has got damage. He was involved in the accident as well. So there's going to be some pit stops there. Sprunky's fallen to P7 already. I don't think he's got damage. I definitely think he was involved in that crash, though. We're going to see who dives into the pits. This is absolutely shaking up the grid there. And my prediction, just like that, gone in the span of a second and a half there. I think we made it not even 500 meters down the line, and we already had a McLaren out of this race. We're going to take a look at our YouTube session now. Let's see what these people say. Gustav's saying full send KTM. I don't know if anybody saw that crash right there, but I'm still kind of unsure what happened. We've got 4 cars in the pits. I think, no, Rumpelfugly is not in the pits. He's just overtaking people from the outside. It's a full-blown safety car to start the race here in Bahrain. And we're going to, yeah, there's not much to talk about here because we can't show you a replay. And it hasn't changed much. But I will show you the positions gained and lost here so we can see just who had the best of starts. KTM Sweden up 4. That certainly does help when Freefall and Sprunky get involved in a mess right ahead of you, and you're able to avoid it. Krago up 3, Galois up 3, Sprunky down 3 positions. CJ Butch is up 10. He's got an amazing start after that very poor qualifying. Richie's up 7 spots, Rumpelfugly's up 6, and Boris, Ephraim, and Bumblebee have all had to pit there for damage. They're down 10, 6, and 6 spots respectively, and I think Ephraim's had a spin. He has had a spin. I hope he hasn't damaged those medium tires. He's going to lose another position, though. And that means he's down 7 positions from the start. And, oh, Bumblebee, nice enough to let him by. Probably got an illegal overtake on him there as we're under safety car, but Ephraim was off the track. So probably would have been okay, though understandably doesn't want to have much to... no much penalties to carry with them. 3 5-second penalties so far. I think there's been contact further down the grid, and just goes to show, just guys, give space. Look at all these. They're all spread across the track. They're weaving, and sure, that's great. You can weave if you're one behind another, just like RPM Bacher is right now. He's giving a lot of room front and back. Problem is, when you start weaving and there's a car really close to the rear of you or really close to the front of you, sometimes you make contact, and for 3 of these drivers, clearly that's gone the wrong way as they take an early 5-second penalty here. The Swedes are happy, it seems. And Skull, I suppose, is in order because, KTM Sweden up into P2. And there's a couple of people happy in our chat. So hopefully that stays that way for the rest of the race. Hopefully he gets a nice little shot at the lead as well. He's certainly in a good position for that as it stands. Tires. There you go. I didn't bring that up during the formation lap. I was going through the standings. Doomsday is on the hard tires. Everybody else is either on the tires they started on, or for the 3 that pit there, the mediums. So Marko Zelinovic, Vex the Vexter, Rick, CJ Bush, and Aizen all starting on the medium tires. Are going to go late into this first stint, and everybody else on the grid there on the sauce, including our 2 DNFs, Synchros and Freefall. Alright, I just took open our Discord chat here just to see if any driver is saying something. Can you get some insight on the incident? Appears, I think Sprunky was not able to shift out of 4th gear, which led to some wheel spin and I think some contact with free fall. So I think I was right there in saying Sprunky was involved. I'm not saying again that he's at fault for it, but was certainly involved in the incident. We don't have enough camera angles to determine fault just yet. Now everybody's going to clump up. Expect more 5-second penalties if this keeps up, and try to warm up their tires because the safety car coming in this lap. We're going to get a restart here. So Lorenzo's queuing up the grid, and looks like everybody's actually doing it nice and orderly. No funny business around here, and should go shortly. Let's take a look there at the top Red Bull. And guys, it's single file, and he goes. And it's going to be a very messy start from the back. He gets a great restart, Lorenzo. KTM Sweden P2 had to contend with Bacher kind of inching his way forwards there. Now is Bacher going to try to make a move into turn 1? Certainly thought about, oh, who was that? Gallo was sending it down the inside. That was almost disgusting. He just went from miles back, taken out, basically plunging into the side of KTM Sweden. Krago's had a spin. I wonder if KTM Sweden has damage there. But Galois, that was not a good move into turn 1. Completely blew his braking spot. He's cost KTM Sweden 2 positions. He's let Sprunky come back into P3. And bad news for the Swede there, because that Alfa Romeo is just absolutely ruined that restart. Don't know if that was a good move there. Again, we didn't have the best camera angle for it, but it certainly looked like Galois sent it from way too far back and missed his braking zone. I'm sure the stewards are going to have to take a look at that. What this means, though, is that Galois does have damage, and if not visible, an impact that big, it's definitely got to do something to a car, and he's holding up a lot of these guys because he's 2 seconds back now from Bacher, who's had a spin. Bacher's had a spin. And he's going to be falling way down the order. The grid is so close here that he's got to wait for everybody to go by to rejoin the queue. all the way down at P17. Even Craigo was able to rejoin a little bit quicker than him. Gallo now going wide. That's going to open the door for Richie, who is trying to make a move there. Gallo does dive into the pits. I thought he was trying to squeeze Richie out, but Richie switching back to the outside, and Gallo into the pits. He's going to go repair that wing. Certainly signs of damage. Side by side into the braking zone. Azen and Richie, those two love to give room. They love to race clean, and it's another showing of that. There's a lot of room left. That lets Richie work his way around the outside. Good move there from the Ferrari now down to hunting KTM Sweeney's got to hope for a little bit more pace than that, though. 3.5 seconds the gap after getting stuck behind the Alfa Romeo of Galois and his broken wing. This has let the top three rather get away. Sprunky, depending on how the incident at the start shook up, could be looking at a penalty, but again, it's way too early to point a finger here. All we got to know is that he was involved in something at the start, and the stewards are probably going to take a look at it after the race. Richie is calling down that gap slowly but surely. He's going to be bringing it down within 3 seconds, I think, by the end of this straightaway. And actually, it's gone up just a little bit, but that's okay. CJ Butch is chasing them behind Richie. A bunch of guys on the medium tires who are doing quite well for themselves up into the top 10. Top 4 all on soft tires. And then the next man down, Rumpel Fugly running P8. That's a good restart for him. He's able to keep up with the pack there. We see him right behind Vex the Vexer in the background. Sprunky is getting close to Lorenzo and should be able to get DRS there as he sets the fastest lap. We're going to tune on board with this battle here. I think DRS, yes, enabled, and he's gonna get DRS now into the next straightaway. At least it should be. That gap was under a second, and is that rear wing gonna open? We've got a spinner in the back of the grid. That's always Rick there, having a spin near, and I didn't quite see where that was actually. I think that was coming up the flat-out right-hander, which would have been turn 13. Down the grid there, Bumblebee's had an issue. He's dropping as well. This track is not as hard as Baku is, but certainly proving that at least traction is hard. Sprunky now having a moment. That's going to cost him DRS for sure. And into the next lap, and it's actually going to cost him a lot of time to KTM soon as he tried to accelerate on the curb there. Not what you want to do. What all that ends up doing is giving you more wheel spin than you could possibly know what to do with. And KTM Sweden now chasing back. Sprunky trying to get back that P2. Doesn't look like KTM Sweden took any damage when Galois came swinging through turn 1. So at least there's that. He's keeping up with our leaders here and doing a good job at it as well. Rumpelfugly's had a spin in turn 13 as well. That corner taking a lot of victims today in qualifying and in the race so far. Got himself, has he gotten himself going yet? No, he hasn't. Taking it very slowly to get back on track, and is going to lose a couple more positions for good measure. He's right ahead of Bumblebee, who had a spin there last lap. A bit of a oversteer there for Sprunky. Does a good job handling it. Does a good job getting back within a second of Lorenzo. So I rather think Sprunky's running less downforce than Lorenzo right now because it's helping him get to the... Oh, sorry, there's a big kerfuffle on my mini-map there. CJ Butch has had a spin. There's no grip on this track here. Everybody is having spins today, and I'm not quite sure what I'm seeing right now. A lot of spins so far. Just tires not gripping, it seems like. I don't know if the track temperature is cold today or what is going on, but until then, at least these three look like they're having a decent pace. Lorenzo, Sprunky, KTM Sweden are leaders, closing in on each other, holding each other back maybe just a little bit. There's another spin again. I think that's Ephraim. No, it's not. That is Vex the Vexter then. It was a blue car, and certainly, I don't know what's happening here. Everybody's having spins today. So Lorenzo charging towards the end of the lap there is... going to be navigating turns 15 and onto the start-finish straight, or we're going to see some pit stops. Big fake there from Sprunky, making KTM Sweden think he was going in the pit stop, stealing a slipstream from Lorenzo on the way, but Lorenzo is going to pit now. He's trying to block off the undercut, and will it work? It all depends on how much pace is left in those soft tires, and whether or not KTM Sweden and Sprunky battle each other this lap, because if they cost each other time, they're both going to be for sure coming out behind Lorenzo. Lorenzo coming out in a lovely gap there. There's nobody near him, and that's exactly what you want when you pit early, because now you get free air, no dirty air in front of you. You can get those tires warmed up and get up to temperature, and I certainly think if only because of the gap Lorenzo was able to pit into, that he's going to be getting the upper hand here. Sprunky or KTM Sweden, one of those two should have pit with him to block him off, but they're not on the same team, so I don't expect them to coordinate that way. The cars certainly look the same, but no teamwork here. So, is he going to pit this lap? That's a big question. And Lorenzo is currently coming right at the start of the third DRS zone, and towards the start of Sector 3. And as both our leaders now come through turn 15, it looks like Lorenzo is coming around turn 13. If you look at our gap to leader there, Lorenzo was able to catch up to about 20 seconds pre-pit stop, and he's going to be coming around the final corner. I think Lorenzo's going to have this for sure. Sprunky is coming out of his pit box, but there's such a long stretch to go. KTM Sweden has not pit. I think he's going to lose more time, and there goes Lorenzo right as Sprunky comes out of the pit, and that run down to turn 1 is going to seem a little longer than it should be for Sprunky as he sees that Red Bull darting off ahead in the distance. At this point, Sprunky needs to hope that he runs into traffic, and not by he, I mean Lorenzo runs into traffic so he can catch him up there in the dirty air. KTM Sweden we're going to have to take a look at that gap. We know that 20.4 is not enough, but it's 23 seconds enough to stay near Sprunky. It's a long time to go there for Sprunky to get around the lap. KTM Sweden leading by a bit here, and coming through turn 11 as we speak. Taking a look at penalties now. Only 5 seconds remain. Aizen is yet to pit. Bumblebee, I believe, is yet to pit as well. He's back there because of a spin. So expect that to play at least a bit of a role. But Aizen again, he still has to pit, so he was going to drop down a little bit. Regardless, we know there's a big gap there behind Lorenzo and Sprunky that he could easily slot into. So I wouldn't be too worried. KTM Sweden doing another lap on those softs. That's absolutely crazy. Gap to leader now for Sprunky is now 21 seconds. So I think KTM Sweden now has waited too long. Unless he's going for the one stop here, he's going to be coming out behind Sprunky and Lorenzo and out of the DRS range as well. So he could have just played himself here a little bit too much time on the track for KTM Sweden. And still, as we head towards the midway point of this race, it's going to be coming up in about 4 or 5 laps there. 4.5 laps if I want to be super accurate about it. And Lorenzo, now, this is what I was talking about, catching up to traffic. And CJ Butch is the first of those cars. Efron Marko Selinovic is the next ahead. I see a battle in the back there between RPM Bacher and Vexa Vexter. And side-by-side through turn 4 turns into side-by-side through turn 5, but not side-by-side through turn 6 as Vexa Vexter bails out of that one. A little bit of a wheel spin there for Bacher should give Vexa Vexter an opportunity to catch up. We've got a spin coming out of the pits, and that's not the Ferrari of Gallua or Ritchie. That means that has to be Rumpelfugly coming out from his pit stop. And KTM Sweden has yet to pit. I feel like I've been saying this on repeat for a couple laps now. Rick struggling. He's had another spin there. Not a good day to be in a Haas, it seems. Yeah. Does anybody know how much thread is left on those tires? Because there really probably isn't much. If I'm being honest, we can see a little bit of a wear line there forming about a third on the outside of the tire. But doesn't look, oh yeah, he's lacking grip there, but he's staying out, and 22nd now the gap to Sprunky, so if he can stretch this into a one-stop, could be a great strategy for KTM Sweden. Of course, as soon as you pit later than the guys ahead of you, you kind of have to either have an alternate strategy or know that you're going to have a maximum pace on your next set of tires, because or else you're going to fall back. Eklund saying it's at 55% right now, his tires. He's got a lot of, yeah, he's got some life left in them then. Of course, the pace might drop off, but I'm not seeing that right now. He's only about half a second slower than Sprunky and Lorenzo as it stands. A little bit slower than Lorenzo. I think he's about a second a lap slower than Lorenzo at this point, but Lorenzo's stuck in traffic, so he's not actually realizing that pace or living up to the potential. And another lap staying out for KTM Sweden. Now keep in mind, we're going to take a look at the tire age here. 11 laps on those soft tires. Lorenzo pit on lap 9, I think. He's coming around, finish lap. So he actually pit on lap 8. So you gotta wonder where did the setup go wrong for Lorenzo and Sprunky if they felt the need to pit this early, and still KTM Sweden able to stay that far ahead and actually have decent pace doing it as well. Taking a look here, we don't do this often, but I'm actually going to take a look at his lap times here, and you can see there consistently into the 131s from lap 5 onwards, and just now he's starting to dip in the very low 132s. So he actually set his fastest sector 1 on lap 8. So 2 warnings from KTM Sweden. Does mean he can't push as hard as he should on some corners unless he wants to risk a penalty. But this just proves that those softs are not dropping off. And Eklund in her chat is right. It might be a genius strategy there from KTM Sweden. If those tires last, why wouldn't you stay out there? And is he going to pit now? Yes, he is. At the end of lap 12, going on to lap 13, there goes our leader into the pits. He's going to be coming out ahead of F1 Richie and behind CJ Butch. So that, yes, that is behind the guys he was fighting earlier. But if he can make the softs last that long and actually have good pace on them, he put the mediums on, those mediums are going to go to the end. He only has to do 16 laps on them. So KTM Sweden has put himself in an absolute prime position to win this race. And I don't want to speak too early, there's a lot of racing to go, but certainly out of everybody on the grid right now, I think if somebody has nailed their pit strategy, it's got to be this man in the Mercedes. So we're way up the grid here. Sprunky's catching up to Efron. Let's put our intervals back up so we can keep track of where the close battles are. Aizen and Boris are close to each other as well, right up the grid. And this is certainly an exciting race here in Bahrain. There's a lot of battles, a lot of pit strategies, and certainly if there's one thing we've got a lot of, it's a lot of spins. But it looks like everybody has gotten the grip of it, because we haven't had too many in the past few laps. I think Always Rick has had another one shortly up the hill there near turn 13, but as of now, looks like everybody's calmed it down just a little bit. Sprunky, though, certainly is not calmed down in his quest for P5, as he's all over the rear of Efron. And will they do anything about it? Or is Efron just going to go, yep, you know what? Yeah, you can take this position for sure. You're not my battle right now. I know that you're going to take this position. Is he going to fight? And we're going to see just how much of an aggressive defense Efron puts. And that's not much of a defense at all there. He knows that he's toast. He knows Sprunky is going to get the position, but he's actually going to fight him into the corner there and get the optimal line, kind of compromise Sprunky's exit. And I think Sprunky was ahead, so Efron is going to get DRS here. Yes, he does. You can see that flap open in the back of that Williams. And Unfortunately, though, not a long enough run. You got to be a little bit closer than that if you want to make a move into turn 4. 5 now, 6, and it doesn't look like that gap is changing too much. But ahead of them, though, there's an even bigger battle for the lead. Now, these guys have still got a pit, but they all started on the medium tires, so it's not like they are completely off the pace. Actually, Boris has a pit stop already. And when did Boris pit? Oh, he pit during safety car. So he was able to make some overtakes happen under safety car. And currently leading this Grand Prix is first. Grand Prix as a full-time driver there. He is racing for Haas, pairing up with Always Rick here in the other Haas. The Haas is sandwiching the field right now, first and 17th. First and last of the running cars. He's already lapped his teammate. So Boris, I'm sure, quite happy with the pace he's got as it stands. Aizen, though, looking to do something about it, and taking that inside line there, hugging the wall, and trying to break the slipstream is Boris. Anything to gain a little bit of an advantage. I don't think he's going to have to worry about an advantage too much, because Aizen's got problems of his own. Marko Selinovic in the Alpha Tauri right behind him, trying real hard to catch him up. Lorenzo's actually starting to catch up to these guys as well, but Sprunky's done a great job keeping up with Lorenzo. And he's gotten past Ephraim now down the straightaway. We missed that overtake, but no worry not. We'll catch this one here as Bakker and Galois swapping positions down the straightaway. Is Galois going to have another go? No, this isn't the safety car restart. This is good racing from the Alfa Romeo. Certainly not repeating that mistake from earlier. As always, guys, we're going to take a quick moment there midway through the race to thank our sponsors, IMB Raceware, the IFEA, and Advanced Sim Racing for allowing us to bring to you this awesome championship. We've got 4 divisions, and we're able to give prizes to a lot of these guys thanks to our partners. And at the end of the season, a couple lucky drivers are going to get some cool stuff. So thank you for our partners for providing that for us. Gift cards from ASR, Advanced Sim Racing, and gloves from IMP Raceware for the champions, amongst others. So certainly some great fun. For everybody involved, we get to give out some cool stuff. Drivers get to receive some cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, that's a pit stop for Aizen, and it's going to be putting his Alpine through his what it looks to be his first and only pit stop of the night. Oh no, that's a DNF, and that it could shake things up there. We've got a safety car. Oh my goodness. And I didn't think that was going to need a safety car because there's nobody near Doomsray, but Doomsray losing it through on the exit of turn 11. And I think he's collected that inside wall there. For sure his car is probably bounced right back up onto the track. Yeah, and that's right where cars actually normally drive that line. So Doomsray out of the session. He was out in quality, he's out in the race, and he's going to bring out the safety car halfway through the race. This is huge because Aizen is just pit, which means he should be able to come out and regain some of these positions, I would think. Sprunky and Lorenzo are going to get to go to the front of the field because Boris and Marko Selinovic should pit. Same with Ephraim, I think he should pit. That was going to put KTM Sweden right behind Lorenzo and Sprunky on fresher tires. At this point, I don't know if Sprunky and Lorenzo are going to be going for a 2-stop. If they go for a 1-stop, though, those mediums might struggle at the end of the race, and that's when KTM Sweden's really going to shine. So, if you're watching the stream right now, if you're in our chat, why don't you give us a prediction? Who do you think is going to win this race? We've got a safety car here. It's basically a restart halfway through. Not a standing one, of course, but Lorenzo is likely going to be guiding the field through this restart with Sprunky and KTM Sweden right behind. So we've seen this before, not quite in the same order, but we've certainly seen a restart before that finish with those 3 in the top 3. Will we get anything different this time around? Everybody pitting. Oh, Sprunky's pitting as well. Okay. KTM Sweden then is going to inherit the lead of this race. Oh, wow, okay, now this is a twist I was not expecting. So, Sprunky and Lorenzo both pitting. Marco Selinovic going on the softs. That's a great call. If he can make those softs last as long as KTM Sweden did. Boris F1 going to be P2. Lorenzo Sprunky P4, P5. So if they want to catch up to KTM Sweden, who's essentially got barely scrubbed in mediums, you pit just, his tires are 3 laps old. If they want to catch him up, they're going to have traffic. Aizen's going to pit for the hards. That's what he pit on at the end of last lap. He didn't feel like the mediums, the softs were going to make it to the end. And of course, he can't pit for another set of mediums because that's the tire he started the race on. All right, just taking a quick breather here under safety car. Spritzy, Boris for the win. Morris saying Lorenzo will win. And Eklund saying, gosh, strategy out the window. Eklund, yeah, maybe, but it would have been bad if Sprunky and Lorenzo did not pit. Did Lorenzo pit again? How is Lorenzo in P7? I must have missed that there. I was taking a breather, taking a quick sip of water. As Lorenzo had an issue under safety car. Did he spin? He's down at P7. And to be honest, this just goes to prove my point there, Eklund. They're going to have to go through people to catch up to KTM Sweden. And the guys behind KTM, I think, aren't as quick. So it is a gamble staying out there on the slightly more used tires. But it might be a gamble. Oh no, Lorenzo is pitting. What has happened with Lorenzo? Did he get wing damage maybe? Oh, he could have been in the lead of this race, and instead he's going to be restarting in P11. This is terrible for his championship hopes. Richie and Sprunky are both going to catch up to him. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Sprunky took the lead of the he would take the lead of the championship if, as it stands, he's only 4 points back. KTM Sweden, though, stands to gain the most from this. And, yeah, that strategy. Richie, CJ Butch, and Marco Selinovic, they're all going on the soft tires to the end of this race. Lorenzo is on the hard tires. He's going to have a very hard time overtaking here. Whereas we have been shown that the soft tires can go 11 to 12 laps and still have a little bit of life left in them without dropping too dramatically in terms of pace. So yeah, this is absolutely interesting. We're going to have to keep an eye out on a lot of people on this restart because there's a lot of different strategies going on here. There's KTM Sweden who's going for the one-stop. Boris who's going for the... actually, does Boris... Wait, Boris went back on the mediums. Yeah, he's doing a two-stop soft medium. He got that soft stint out of the way early, thanks to the early safety car. Marco Selinovic back on the softs. He was on the mediums just before. Sprunky on the mediums as well. That's a second stop. Aizen doing a one stop as well onto the hards. So the top 5, we've got about 4 different strategies going on. And at some point, they're all going to overlap. Going to get another lap under safety car here. Is Rumpelfugly, I think, still has to catch up to the grid. And Lorenzo's going to pit. What is happening? So Lorenzo's going to pit back for a set of fresh mediums. I am genuinely confused here. So Lorenzo went soft, medium on the safety car, I think, as did everybody. Or sorry, not right after the safety car, and then pit for mediums again, pit for hards, and then went back onto the mediums. So, yeah, a bit of an interesting strategy there from Lorenzo, and I think possibly had wing damage, had to switch his wing, and then wanted to go back onto the medium tires, which would make sense, but certainly not an ideal strategy. He could have been P1, and instead he is P14. Harizos, we just went over that, actually. I'm not sure if you wrote that comment right before that part streamed or not, but if you just scrub back a couple seconds, you'll even see we opened up the race director to see what his pit stops look like. So, yeah, basically, I think he just got wing damage, switched a pit to repair that wing damage, but did not want to finish the race on hards, and so pit once more for the mediums, because he figured losing one spot by doing that is better than doing the rest of the race on the hards. Now, safety car is in this lap. KTM Sweden is not giving it any room. He's going to go right up behind it, and as soon as it's in the pit, boom, there he goes. Yeah, as soon as he had a chance, he went, and don't think that exactly fooled many people, because there's only one possible option for when he was going to go, but it certainly has guaranteed that he's going to maintain the lead into turn one, because nobody able to get a solid slipstream on him. Marko Silinovic getting just ahead of Sprunky there, but still almost side by side. Sprunky's going to have another go there as he tucks back in for a bit more slipstream. Right behind them, Aizen and Ephraim having a nice little battle there, and we're going to see that Williams tries to make a move anywhere here through the start of Sector 2. It's a very tight, winding section of the track, but if you can just time it right, if you get a good exit, if the other van makes a mistake, sometimes you can get ahead. No spins, no accidents on this restart. It was clean. I try to say clear and clean at the same time. It was clean from just about everybody. And now we go down to the nitty-gritty, the hard part of the race, the final 9 laps or so. And it's now or never for a lot of these guys. KTM Sweden able to keep that lead at 0.4. He wants to make that bigger by the time DRS opens up for sure, but nothing to worry about for this lap. Marko Silinovic and Boris keep in good shape. Marko Silinovic is going to have the pace advantage, but he wants to be careful with those tires, or else they're not going to last until the end of the race. Breaking the toe there is KTM Sweden, trying his best to make sure that nobody can get close to him. What he needs to hope, no, he doesn't want to, he's not hoping that Boris catches up to him. He's hoping that Marko Silinovic and Boris start fighting, because if they start fighting, if Marko Silinovic is able to make a move on Boris, this is going to give KTM Sweden a ton of leeway in terms of what he can do and how he's got to race. He's going to be able to recharge his battery a bit as well. It's going to cost both of these guys times, and it does look that that's what Marko Silinovic is trying to do. He doesn't care about Boris's or KTM Sweden race. He just wants to get in P2 because that's more points, and it makes sense. Sprunky, though, right behind them. Keep an eye out on this battle because he might join it very soon. A couple of cars stuck behind Aizen right behind as he's on the hard tires, so it takes a little bit longer to warm up. He's going to be a little bit slower here for at least the first 2-3 laps. Not slow enough that he's gotten catching up, though, as he maintains position from the restart. Sprunky, Marko Silinovic, Boris, and KTM Sweden all preceding him. You can see that gap start to form on your mini-map there at the bottom right. There is a yellow flag, and that's Aizen. Oh my goodness, I was just talking about how good he was doing holding everybody back, and he's had a spin, and we've got a double. Oh, double trouble there in turn 13 as Aizen has the spin, hits the inside wall, and I think always Rick coming off, seeing that yellow flag, the debris, unsettling his car, and he's had a couple spins there so far this race, and 2 cars out, and just like that, we've got another safety car. Well, that's certainly going to put a damper on things for a bit, isn't it? As 2 cars crashing out on the same corner there, we've got our 4th and 5th retirement of the race. And Aizen, luckily there, they crashed on the same corner. Ace's car slid a little further, and he's going to actually maintain P15 despite crashing out before Always Rick. All right, all right. So, safety car, lap 22 out of 29. This means we're going to get restarted just about lap 24, I would say, at the latest. I'm looking at these tire strategies here, and I would say, yeah, these soft tire runners, this safety car helps them, I think, more than anybody else, because those softs were going to be a little bit tough to handle at the end of the race. And now, as we approach the end there, we're getting extra laps under safety car. All this does is it lets them keep that life in there. And it's going to say a bigger number there in terms of how much they use, of course. But, oops, I'm on the wrong thing. There you go. Just want to show you guys penalties. We're getting to the end of the race now, so penalties actually are going to matter quite a bit. Sprunky's got a 5-second though, and I don't know when he took that. Must have been under safety car here. It's certainly disappointing to take a 5-second this late in the race. I do hope it was somebody hitting him, because he doesn't have to pit again, and if he's not at fault, that's going to be instant removal from the stewards. So at the very least for Sprunky, he's going to be able to get that taken off if it's not his fault, so it shouldn't matter too much. But if he is at fault, if he's the one who hit the car ahead, that is bad news for Sprunky and the whole Aston Martin team, because 5 seconds this late in the race is killer. A lot of cars that are going to be close by, a lot of guys that are going to be right behind you, and that 5 seconds is going to drop you way more than if you took it earlier in the race. Take a look at our YouTube comment section. There you go. Gustav, still in the chat. Thank you for watching this whole race, man. I really do appreciate your presence here. Love the Swedes, well, most of them. I don't like the Swedes that score against Canada at hockey, but that's about it. So, nice to see a little Scandinavian nation up here in our stream, cheering on one of their own. KTM Sweden leading their race here, his teammate rounding out the field. We had a Haas sandwich earlier in the race. We've got a Mercedes sandwich now with Boris, buddy, can't pass before the start finish line. And that's improper safety car restart procedures. What that does, though, is that it forces them to check up, and it's going to cause chaos down the field. What is happening here? Oh my goodness. Okay, well that's going to be under investigation for sure. So Boris there getting a little too eager on the start forces him to back off, and what that does is that now he was swarmed by people by the end of turn one, and getting touched on the rear wheel made him check up some more, and now it's just chaos in the back. I don't think there was much damage from there, but a lot of guys just not knowing where to go. There's some battling there from Ephraim Lorenzo and Vexter still side by side. That's a difficult corner to go side by side in, and it's going to be Lorenzo staying ahead. Sprunky is P2, Boris P3 there. That safety car restart definitely caught him. It didn't look like KTM Sweden did anything wrong there, but you're not allowed to overtake before the start-finish line, and Boris was about to, so rightfully, I think he let off the gas a little bit, and it's just cost him so dearly down the straightaway and into turn 1. He's lucky he did not get spun around there, because that could have easily been disaster. Sprunky, though, P2 at that 5 seconds. We don't know if that's going to get removed yet, and keep in mind, Sprunky might be under investigation for a start-finish incident, so whatever he does now, he wants to make sure that he takes the least amount of penalties possible, because he might drop behind Lorenzo as it stands if he takes a post-race penalty. Lorenzo's on an absolute tear here. Oh, almost going 3 wide into turn 1 with the Williams, and almost going 3 wide into turn 2 with the Williams. Oh, and he keeps out of trouble there. Beautiful racing from Lorenzo, but now he's boxed in, and the Williams are both fighting him. Williams both defending him, and Ephraim with some nifty little moves there, but that's not going to be enough to keep the Red Bull behind him as Lorenzo takes the long way around and goes to the outside, and that's how he dispatches both Vexter and Ephraim. Vexter there having another go at him on that restart after losing the position last lap. He's on the soft tires though, might have a go on his teammate here in the coming corners. Certainly not that one. Gets a better exit there, and it looked like he did, at least through the first phase of the exit of the corner. And is he going to be able to catch up? No DRS yet, so I think this straightaway is going to be too short unless he sends it in. But on a very fast corner like that, you can't really do any dive bombs. Maybe around the outside here if he's got the grip. That would have been beautiful, but not close enough. Now the Williams going at it again. Beautiful little battle between teammates here. DRS is enabled this lap. They're going to get it not here, but at the end of the first lap, as Vexter pulled alongside too early there. Williams side by side down the straightaway, and who's going to be the teammate ahead once we enter turn 1? It's going to be Vexter on the inside. Ephraim ahead though, and as they go into turn 2, Vexter's going to have to bail out of this one, go for the switchback. He's going to get a much better drive, switches to the inside once more, and Ephraim defending every which way, and that's going to put actually is that Craigo now having a move on Vexter. There's a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there. Great battle further down the order here as Ephraim doing his best to keep P8 there. He's lost a P7. He's not going to lose this one, and keeping his teammate at bay. Certainly not no team orders there down in the Williams garage. Now that battle with Vexter and Craigo is going to cost Craigo some time as Bumblebee gets ahead of him. F1 Richie and Galois and Richie have had bad restarts. They're at the back of the order right now. Richie was running very well early in this race, but not able to keep that going today. Very close. You can see just that rear tire there of Craigo, so close to the rear tire of Richie, who actually takes a position away from Bumblebee side by side through turns 13, and it's going to be Richie ahead, and Bumblebee takes a penalty for good measure. Craigo's got one as well, so Richie is in the top 10 as it stands, but he's going to have to keep Galois behind him too. Richie's looking for a move. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide. Galois has blown the corner again. That's not the first time he's done that today. It's going to cost them a ton of time, and it's not going to cost Richie a chance at a move there. It's going to cost Bumblebee a chance at getting the position back there, because Richie's already ahead. Lorenzo was doing great progress through this grid earlier on. He's not been able to replicate that success after catching up to CJ Butch. Alfa Romeo just fast enough at the wrong pits of the track, and Lorenzo not able to get closer than about half a second. Further ahead though, let's look at that battle for the lead, and KTM Sweden and Sprunky have swapped positions, but Sprunky, keep in mind, 5-second penalty, and could still that might not get taken off. That he might still be under investigation for a start start line incident, as the best way to put it. It wasn't turn one. It was down the run to turn one. So it could be under investigation for that. So KTM Sweden running P2 right now. There's a good chance he actually inherits and keeps that first place. Although, you know, what would really put any doubt aside is if you could take it on your own and cross the line first. That way you can't lose it. It's going to be KTM Sweden now forcing his way right over the rear of Sprunky. He's very close. I don't know if he's close enough. And Sprunky defending the inside, moving back to the outside so that he can take the racing line through that corner. That is legal, is one move each way. And it looks like he kept that steering wheel steady. No moving under braking there. Had that over and done well before the braking zone. Now KTM Sweden, then Sprunky though. They're not done fighting, are they? As we are on lap 28 out of 29, and as we approach the final lap, very quick, to be fair. It's 4 guys all in range of the leader, all in DRS range of P1, and none of them have penalties. So A, a penalty could absolutely throw a wrench into any of these guys' plans. B, Sprunky's 5-second penalty means they're all at least going to get on the podium today, and 2 of them should stay on there at the very least, regardless of the penalty getting taken away or kept. So there is still a lot to battle for there. I'm surprised Bakker has not made a move on Boris yet, but not able to get just close enough to do it. That DRS train is certainly not doing them any favors. KTM Sweden needs to get ahead of Sprunky sooner rather than later because it's the last lap of the race. And around the outside he goes. He's going to be able to clear Sprunky. I don't know if he's got the outside line. Sprunky's going to force him off there. Oh, it was a good move there from Sprunky to take a little bit of a wider exit and compromise KTM's acceleration. Now, it's KTM, you got to dive into that slipstream there, but KTM was ahead at the DRS zone. So Sprunky got DRS, and so did Boris. Oh no! No! KTM has spun it on the curb on the last lap, and he's in the wall, and that's no front wing. Podium loss for KTM Sweden right now, and the Swedes in our chat are probably just a little bit angry at that one, as he spins it on the curb. Oh, that's another one, Marko Slinovic. We went a long way without any spins here at the end of this race. Now we've gotten 2 in just a span of a couple corners. Marko Slinovic dropping down the order as well. That's 2 results there. That could have been great. That aren't. Vexter trying to move around the outside of KTM Sweden. There's contact there. I don't think either of them really could have helped it, because no front wing on KTM Sweden is certainly not a good recipe for turning that car as quick as possible. And Boris now closing in on Sprunky. I don't think anybody was at fault for that KTM Sweden incident. I certainly think that was just over eager on the throttle on the curb, maybe getting nervous there towards the end of the race, and it's cost him dearly. And now this is probably going to be the podium if pre-stewarding for sure. There's Sprunky, Boris, and Bakker crossing the line. Sprunky is going to cross first. Boris is going to win the race, and Bakker is going to finish second. Lorenzo sneaks onto the podium for now, but wait until stewarding to see who stays there. Vexter P5, what a great race for him in the Alpine. CJ Busch with an amazing recovery drive from last there after crashing qualifying to 6th on the grid. Ephraim P7, he had great battles through this race. Galois P8, he could drop there. We've seen some incidents with Galois during the race. Expect stewarding to take a look at that. KTM Sweden dropping a P9. What a disastrous final lap for him. Could have had the win. Ends up in the top 10, but he did end up in the top 10, so props to him for keeping his head down and getting to the line at the end there. Richie rounds out the top 10. Gustav saying McLaren hit KTM. Yeah, on our stream, we could not see that. We were on board with them. So I have no idea if Bakker did hit the Mercedes. And if that is the case, then for sure the stewards will take a look at that. But what a great race this was. Exciting finish for sure. And it's how do you say? This was a good one. It was a very exciting race. There you go, your podium. It's a Haas, a McLaren, and a Red Bull provisionally, at least. Expect some of that to change as we go through the week. Keep an eye out for the standings, the race results. If you're a driver, if you're a fan, we'll run you down them at the start of the next race. Don't worry about that. There it is, Boris Bacher Lorenzo. And if what I'm being told in the chat is true, that could change so much more, especially if Bacher was involved in KTM spinning there. Sprunky could get that 5-second removed. Could get another one tacked on by the stewards. Who knows? Vexa Vexter could see some positions improve as well. This podium that we see now could be completely different from the podium we get at the end of the final classifications. So that's it. That's all for today's Grand Prix. Division 4 is finishing theirs right now, I believe. And yeah, actually, they're crossing the line as we speak. So maybe go give the winners there some love. But that's going to be the end of our race there. After Richie, I didn't run you down the rest of the order, but Krago, P11, Bumblebee, P12, Marco Slinovich, 13th, Rumpel Fugly, 14th, and then your DNFs, A's and always Rick Doomsray, Synchros, and Freefall. The last two we lost before turn 1, and they never really got a chance to make a point in this race, did they? All right, well, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting out of this lobby here. But there's no countdown going on. But I will take this time then with the screen on site. Thank you, everybody, for watching this Grand Prix. Make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you check out our sponsors in the description. Thank you to Advanced Sim Racing and IMB Racewear for helping us bring you this racing series every week. Our social media links are in the description as well if you want to go check it out. And sorry about that. Just noticed something on one of the videos. All right, cool. So yeah, check out our links in the description. Thank you all for watching. I'm ISRL Knight in the commentary booth. It's nice to be back with Division 3. I'll see you guys next week out. If you don't know where we're at next week, ooh, we are in Coda. That's right, another one of our races matching the real life Grand Prix. So see you in the USA, and we will be back soon. Division 2 starting in 40 minutes. Don't miss it right here on ISRL Esports. Take care, guys.